Good day, friends of Back Bay Mission. Today we are not in my office from the desk of the executive director. We're actually here really right at the bridge that goes over into Ocean Springs, from Biloxi to Ocean Springs, over what is called the Bay of Biloxi. And this actually is an area, kind of the Back Bay area, the Bay area, the peninsula of Biloxi, where much of the fishing industry started, and fishing industry around especially shrimp and oysters. And Back Bay Mission has a really deep relationship with the fisher people, because Back Bay Mission got its start 100 years ago, 2022, with really the fisher people here on the coast who had migrated here. They were migrants from elsewhere, Yugoslavia and other Slavic countries. And they came because the fishing industry here was king and queen. It was the best and the world's largest fishing industry here on the coast of Mississippi. And so this statue that we're in front of is actually in front of our seafood museum. And so I wanted to share this statue. This is a very important statue. Actually, there was a statue here before this that was taken out by the last hurricane. Hurricane Katrina, and this is the replacement statue. I'm pretty sure they never found that statue. It's probably off in the bay somewhere. But this is called the Golden Fisherman, and I think it's beautiful, and it says, in quotes, "Casting his net into eternity." And it honors the name of all the Biloxi fishing families, which are many. And how Back Bay connects to the fisher people is the fisher people were migrating from Yugoslavian places, and they were working in the fishing industry. And often, as we know, migrants, first generation, their children, they often live in poverty until they're able to acclimate enough wealth. And so Back Bay Mission provided shoes, they provided clothing, they provided medical help, especially for the children first, of the fisher families, and then they started to provide help for actually the fisher families themselves, who kind of continued to struggle, right, and live in poverty because fishing industry, especially shucking shrimp, is it shucking oysters, and what do we do to shrimp, Kevin?
Peel them.
Peel them, thank you. Peeling the shrimp. That was hard work, but it also wasn't work that really necessarily made a living wage. So even the children were involved in peeling the shrimp and shucking the oysters. And they didn't have shoes, they didn't have clothing, they didn't have medical help. And so Back Bay Mission assisted those children and adults with shoes, with clothing, with education. We actually opened a medical clinic, and I just found out recently through some friends of ours, friends of the mission, that we actually opened a savings and loan for people too. So they learned how to save, and they modeled for them how to save and really how to become, quote, prosperous here in this land of plenty, America. So that's kind of the basic story of the Golden Fisherman statue, and a bit of the story of Back Bay Mission. And Back Bay Mission continues, as we know, to identify populations and serve those populations that really need assistance and need a hand up instead of a hand down. So we're going to enter into our Seafood Industry Museum. This is the fantastic museum. I've been to this museum twice. Kevin said he's been here once or twice, and it's just a great museum, all things seafood, talking about the industry, artifacts, and actually, according to Corey that we're going to talk to, who does PR here for the museum, they actually have more artifacts than they can even put out. So the museum building itself is relatively small. And my understanding is this museum was built soon after Katrina, and it is built by a famous architect that we'll ask Corey about. So follow me and join us in the museum, the Seafood Museum here in Biloxi. And now we are here in the Maritime and Seafood Industry Museum in Biloxi, that is just basically to the west of the statue that we were just at. And I'm here with Corey. He basically does marketing, right? That's kind of your marketing, and you know all things about the museum, right? All things. Good. And we're standing here in one of the most, I think, really impressive places in the museum, which Corey's just shared with me, is these boats were actually, the museum was built around boats, right?
So this particular boat, yes, the Nydia, the boat, this was craned in. We built the forward, craned it in, and finished the museum around it. The smaller ones we can move in and out, but this one here, not going anywhere.
Wow. And this is how old, the boat?
This boat's 123 years old.
123 years old.
Right here in Biloxi.
And this museum, you said, is 8 years old, this spot, right? This building.
Yeah, so this building is 8 years old after Katrina washed out the original building, which was the Coast Guard Barracks. We built this beautiful new structure.
Wow. And this was built by a famous architect, correct?
Daria Pizzetta, yes, a Biloxian.
Okay, she's a Biloxian, but she's in New York, is that right? Or
She is in New York now, I believe, moving back soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. People always move back here.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
I know, right? Yeah, it's like full circle. So tell us a little bit about the museum and your passion around the museum.
Well, the museum's dedicated to sharing the history of the coast, and that spans from seafood to boat building. Of course, tourism is a big part of our history here. It's what brought a lot of people here originally. But it starts with D'Iberville landing in 1699, and we try to come right through today.
Yeah, D'Iberville landed in Ocean Springs and in Biloxi.
D'Iberville landed at Ship Island.
Ship Island.
Yes, at Ship Island, which got its name because it was deep enough for the ships. But the fort is over in Ocean Springs. There's a park there over on Front Beach. It was actually in the Gulf Hills area originally.
So that's where the fort was established?
Yeah, so the fort.
And then he landed on Ship Island.
He landed on Ship Island first, yes.
Oh, okay.
And then the Biloxi Indians, and they helped him find his way.
The Biloxi Indians, right. So that's kind of the indigenous kind of community that was here, wasn't it? The Biloxi Indians.
Yes, sir. So they were here eating their oysters and living the good life, I think.
Shrimp too?
Oh, yeah.
Were they?
And everything that's out there.
Wow. We learned from them, right?
Yes, definitely. I don't think the Frenchmen would have plucked that oyster open without the help of an indigenous.
Would they have eaten the shrimp? Were they already eating shrimp, or no? Was that something unique to here when they came to the coast here?
I would imagine they were eating shrimp already. I would think that was a thing over in France.
Yeah.
Through the years, everyone basically came here to fish.
Right.
So it was a trade that they brought with them.
Yeah. That's one of the things I think is really interesting when you live here and you find out that this was kind of the king-queen fishing area, right, for many years.
Yes, we were the king, the seafood capital of the world for a long time. Once refrigeration and the trains came through, we were big producers. And then, of course, like anything else, overuse, overfishing hurt us a lot. Imports obviously have an impact. But yeah, for many years, and we still are a huge seafood producer.
Yeah. Do you know how many shrimp factories are on the coast?
Right now?
Yeah.
Less than 10 for sure, I think.
Really?
Less than 5, yes.
Okay, and they all kind of right around Biloxi here?
Right around the bay. I believe there's some operating over on the west end of the coast, but we have Galats here, just in D'Iberville. We have several still operating in Packet Touch that's operating on Oak Street here in Biloxi still.
Okay. And what's your story? How did you end up here back in Biloxi?
Well, I grew up in Biloxi, always loved it, went away for graduate school and college and all that good stuff. Always wanted to come back, and one day just kind of decided I was coming back. Quit my job and moved home with really no prospects, made the most of it.
And what was your first employment here on the coast?
When I first moved back, I worked at the Walter Anderson Museum. I was there for about 6 years.
Okay. Those are two really good places, two good places to visit, right? Walter Anderson Museum, which is in Ocean Springs, and here at the Maritime and Seafood Industry Museum.
Correct. That's
another excellent museum. I would really encourage you, the next time you folks are down to Biloxi, or just make a trip to Biloxi and visit this museum. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and we're lucky here to have some cultural institutions that are really significant in such a really small area population-wise. We have the Ord Museum, we have us, we have the Walter Anderson Museum, the Mary C, Beauvoir even. I mean, we're just full of culture and history here, so you can come down just for that.
Yeah, it's rich history, rich culture, and a lot of storytelling.
Yes.
Like, stop people in the street that are Biloxians and they'll tell you stories, right?
Oh, you can find some interesting stuff out about Biloxi.
It's really, it's fantastic. Good
colorful
place
history.
To be. Very colorful history. So thank you, Corey. Corey and I are going to connect on another level, too, to kind of talk about those connections with Back Bay and hopefully get those to be a part here of the museum, too. So thank you for joining us. As always, we ask for your support of the coast, your support of the museum here, and your support of Back Bay Mission, and we appreciate you tuning in. Thank you.